Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pension Fund Committee. The first item on the agenda is the election of chair for the 2021-22 municipal year. Can I take nominations, please?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Councillor Clive Lloyd.
And I'd like to second that, please, Jeremy.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, all in favour? Okay, there we are. That's great. There we are, Clive. Over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, committee, for the election. Okay, we'll move on to item 2 on the agenda then, which is the election of vice chair for the 2021-2022 municipal year. Can I have nominations, please?
Yes, I'd like to propose Phil Downing, if that's possible, Clive.
Yeah, so Councillor Phil Downing proposed. Seconder?
I'll second
Clive.
Yeah. John and Peter. Any other nominations? No? Okay. Could we all raise your hand if you're willing to accept Phil as vice chair? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Well done, Phil.
Okay, thank you very much, Dad. I turn my mic off now.
Okay. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Glad to see everyone here at the committee today. Yeah, I think we've got quite a big agenda to get through, as we've got a couple of things that have rolled over from the meeting that we didn't have in July, I think it was, Jeff, wasn't it? And I know some of us have got to get away. I know a couple have got away at 11:30, and I've got to be away by 12 as well. So we'll see how we get on anyway, and hopefully we can have a good debate and get through the agenda as quickly as possible without compromising anything. So, because there's some really important stuff on today. All right, if we go to apologies for absence.
Apology from Councillor Will Thomas.
Any others? No? Okay, thank you for that. Any disclosures of personal prejudicial interest? I'll go first. Declare a member of City and Swansea Pension Fund. Any others? Peter Rees?
Right. Oh, sorry.
You're on mute, Peter. Still on mute.
My daughter-in-law is a member of the fund.
Okay. Jan?
Member of the pension fund is Swansea, Clive.
Phil Downing?
Yeah, the usual chair, my son, my brother is a member of the pension fund.
Gareth? Yeah, you're on mute.
My daughter-in-law is a member of the fund, and I'm a member of David's pension fund.
Okay, and Mike, did you have your hand up? I think Mike is frozen.
Yeah, he's having problems this morning, Clive.
Okay.
Jeff?
I'd like to make a declaration member of the LGPS for the agenda of as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Richard.
Jeremy?
Same as member of the local government pension scheme and clerk to Llanryddan Higher Community Council for the statement of accounts.
Okay. Caroline?
I'm a member of the LGPS.
Okay, I think that's Karen.
I'm a member of the Swansea Pension Fund.
Okay, Ian?
Yes, the usual. I'm a member of the LGPS as well.
Okay, I can't see any other hands, so thank you all for that. If you could complete the necessary forms and return them to Jeremy, please, that would be really helpful. So we go to item 5 then, which is minutes of the previous meeting, and that starts on page 1. So go through them quickly. Page 1, page 2. Page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. Okay,
Yeah,
somebody like to, sorry?
Yeah, move.
Okay, they've been moved as a true record by Phil, a seconder. Jan, okay. All those happy to accept the minutes as a true and accurate record? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. then move on to reports of the section 151 officer item 6. So we'll start with item A, Jeff, which is the breaches report, starting on page 7.
Thank you, Chairman. Usual report. In the interest of time, you're used to receiving it. You're used to receiving the format that this report is presented to you. If I could just ask members to turn to page 27 of your pack. That's where the latest breaches are reported, and it's the usual boilerplate stuff. Nothing untoward or I need to draw to your attention for any particular reason. It's just the usual operational breaches that we need to report to you in terms of percentage of payments that were paid late. And as you can see, there are some issues with information flow between our AVC providers, Prudential, so that our admin team can finalise calculations so that we can process the payment in due course. And also, again, information and documentation flow from members has contributed to some delays as well. Again, the odd one about frozen refunds, i.e. when we need to refund contributions to a member and we can't trace them or track them to make that refund, it's reported there. And then the usual perennial item about late contributions. Again, the one single employer this period has not met the timetable required to remit their contributions. And again, unfortunately to say, it is the same old suspect in that respect. And as far as the new reporting requirement in respect of GDPR breaches, happy to report no breaches this period. Happy to take questions, Chairman.
Okay. Are there any questions for Jeff? Phil? Phil Downen?
Yeah, there's a question, but Jeff has already answered it with the contributions. If you look during the year, it's at certain times it's one employer, and at other times it's two employers. And I was going to ask, are these the same ones? But you answered that, Jeff.
Yeah, yes. I'm afraid it is, Councillor Downing. As previously reported, they tend to be small one-man bands. If he's gone on holiday or away or on sick leave, the admin duties get overlooked and there's no one else there to pick up that task, I'm afraid.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Right. Okay, so we've got the this is for information only, Jeff. Yeah.
Yep.
So
yep.
Okay, if everyone's happy to accept that for information, we move on to item B, which is the WPP business plan, starting on page 30.
Thank you, Chairman. Also, if elected members do have questions they want to ask during any of these reports, please shout out. Due to presentational issues, I can only put one document on screen, so I can't see you if you've got your hand up. So please do shout out if you do have a question as I go through. Recognising best practice, WPP produce a business plan to inform their work plan for the forthcoming financial year, laying out budget requirements, work plan requirements, resourcing requirements, etc. Similarly to ourselves, the business plan that I presented to you in respect to the Swansea Pension Fund earlier in the year. So this is a business plan in respect of WPP. I'm not planning to go through it in any great detail, however, just to bring to your attention a quite an important item identified on that business plan. And it's in respect of an enhancement and a strengthening of the governance arrangements in respect of WPP. And I think it's on page, we've got the business plan there, on page 41 of your packs and page 10 of the actual business plan. You can see there the very first item on that governance work plan, work to be completed into the year, is to appoint a scheme member representative to the Joint Governance Committee. Work is ongoing now as we speak in respect of that. we have now received the revised inter-authority agreement that each individual constituent authority shall have to take to full council to have approved to amend that document to enable a scheme member representative to be elected to the Joint Governance Committee. I know the chairman, Councillor Clive Lloyd, has been instrumental in lobbying JGC of WPP in implementing this change. And it's a welcome change, and the work is ongoing in respect of that, as reported. And as you can see there in the rest of that work plan, there's a whole list of policies that are in development. And later on in the agenda, where I give you the WPP update, you'll have an opportunity to comment on the policies approved at the last JGC by elected members. Again, in the interest of time, Chairman, I've no intention of going through it in detail. Just happy to answer any questions you may have on it.
Okay, any questions for Jeff? Yeah, just on the scheme member representation. Yeah, it's something that we've discussed at previous meetings and was agreed by the WPP eventually. Either last meeting or the meeting before. So I believe that's something that we've got to take to council as well, Jeff, haven't we? So I've agreed with Jeff that we'll take that as an amendment to our administrative regulations at the October council meeting. Yeah, and just for information, we've just come up, myself and Jeff, I've just come off a meeting with the WLGA finance representative, Anthony Hunt, leader of Torvine Council, who along with the Welsh ministers, are starting to show an interest in Welsh pension partnership, particularly what Welsh pensions are doing, what opportunities there might be in the future. So that's a dialogue that we've started this morning, and that will be ongoing as part of my role as chair of WPP for this year. So that's good and welcome. So the recommendation then is on page 30 that the Welsh WPP pension partnership business plan 21-22 is approved. All those in favour, raise your hands. Okay, Mike, are you still frozen? Oh, you no.
No, I didn't. I've only just come back in, so I didn't.
Oh,
hear
right. Okay. All right.
I'm not voting. I'll abstain on this one because
All
I didn't hear it. Thank you.
Okay. So have you got that, Jeremy? One abstention.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And we move on to the next item then, which is item C, which is the draft annual report and statement of accounts 2021. Starts on page 49. Jeff?
Thanks, Chairman. Again, this is an annual item that Pension Fund Committee receives and approves on an annual basis. It's the financial statements of the pension fund, and the eagle-eyed amongst you shall notice that historically we've produced two documents, the financial statements and separately the annual report. However, following dialogue with Audit Wales and their recommendation and guidance, we've consolidated both documents into one now. So we're asking committee to approve the financial statements and the annual report all in one. This is a bit of pragmatism in respect of Audit Wales, in that they only have to undertake one piece of audit work now, and also perhaps to address the fact that they're only actually about to start the audit of these financial statements as of this Monday just gone, which is at least a couple of months later than they normally do. So I think it's in everyone's interest that we do consolidate both documents, and also it gives them a bit of extra time in terms of turning it around in respect of their other audit commitments throughout the rest of Wales. So although both statements are combined in this new document, the disclosures within it will be largely familiar, and you'll recognise a lot of the format of the report as we go forward. As you can see on page 54 of the report and your reporting pack, you can see a very healthy net asset value of £2.6 billion. It's been a historic year for the scheme in terms of its returns, returning over 31% during the year. It's been a banner year for the fund in that regard. In that it's managed to outperform its local authority peers by over 8%. In terms of investment performance, just for the 12 months up to 31st of March, that actually puts the fund in the 8th percentile out of all local authority funds within England and Wales. So that's a great achievement, and it's not just a one-off, because the metrics for 3 and 5 years are equally compelling and put the fund in the top decile in respect of those subsequent periods as well. So later on the agenda, there'll be reports committee which will ask for recommendations about the investment strategy as a result of the good outperformance and funding position as a result of that good investment performance, which will consolidate and lock in some of those gains. That's for later on the agenda. In front of you here is financial statements that we're required to report in accordance with best practice. And again, in the interest of time, I'm not endeavouring to go through it on a page by page, because the consolidation of the two documents is quite a hefty document now. We're running to well over 290 odd pages, I think, off the top of my head. So it is quite an unwieldy document as it stands. However, everything contained in it is required by statute. So that's why it is. We've tried to streamline it in line with our auditors and make it more readable. However, we're required to disclose everything that's contained within it. The material financial statements start on page 129 of your packs. So if I could ask you to turn to that page where the meat of the financial disclosures start. I'm scrolling down myself. So as you can see again, this just highlights what I've previously said about the very healthy net return of the fund for the year. We're looking at an increase in fund value of over £600 million in 1 year, which those types of numbers are quite mind-boggling, really, when you think about it. But just shows the magnitude and scale of the assets and liabilities that we're talking about in respect to the pension fund. So as the net asset statement says there, it's the closing assets of the fund are over £2.6 billion now. And why do we have a pension fund? It's to pay pensions, pay our members, and you can see that we've made just under £85 million worth of payments to members in terms of pensions payable and lump sums in respect of our members during the year. Another area of interest for members historically has always been the investment management costs and administrating authority costs in respect of the scheme, and that's on page 140 of the pack. I say, if members have any questions, please do shout out, because I can't see hands raised. But as you can see there, the investment management expenses have jumped up commensurately. But noting my earlier comments about the investment outperformance during the year, you'll see that a large proportion of those increase in investment management expenses are due to performance fees, thereby where an investment manager outperforms their investment outperformance target, we're required to pay them performance fees. Therefore, there's a commensurate jump in performance fees in that respect during the year. Also, the flat management fees is a function of being a percentage of assets under management. As the assets grow, the absolute amount of management fees we pay increases. However, the percentage of that remains the same. Also then, below that, in that table is a breakdown of WPP costs, because obviously more and more now an increasing element of our investment management costs are funneled, channeled through WPP. So those subsequent costs are broken down for the reader's information there in the table below. I thought an interesting and for those of you more pictorially minded, if I could ask you to turn to page, I think it's 297 of the packs. Sorry.
I don't think I got a 297. It only goes to 296.
Oh, sorry, Clive. Expenses. Sorry, page 190. Sorry, page 190. Sorry, committee. Just for the more pictorial minded, you can see, the increase in asset values and how that looks in terms of graphically, and how pleasing that is in terms of the growth in asset values during the last 10 years. So obviously, the majority of this pension fund committee has been imposed in the last term of office, but you can see there's been steady growth in asset values during the last 10 years into that pleasing position that we find ourselves now, being over 100% funded for the first time ever. And sitting on a surplus for the first time ever in my lifetime, definitely, in respect of working on the fund. Happy to pause there, Chairman, because as I say, the rest of the document are disclosure notes breaking down different elements of the financial statements. They've got all our policy documents in there. They have our investment strategy statement. Lots of information that we're required to include in the annual report for the readers' benefit. However, elected members will be well used to seeing these documents in their previous iterations, or even original iterations when they originally approved them. So I don't really have any intention of going through any of those again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, listen, it's a really good report and an excellent position for a whole host of reasons. Not least because we've got that surplus for the first time ever, as you say, Jeff. Our position within the pension fund organisation within England and Wales has moved considerably over the last few years, and is in a really strong position in terms of where we are compared to other pension funds. And it's all been achieved at a time when we've met our commitments to our responsible investment strategy as well. So we've achieved a lot of things really at what could be considered some of the most difficult at times. You know, we've had that period, didn't we, at the start of COVID, where you know, markets were all over the place. But you know, to come through that and be in this position is excellent, and not least because, you know, it's a huge contribution to the council taxpayers of Swansea as well, Jeff, because it means that you know, the council has council funds, as in previous years, would have been set aside to subsidise any under provision to its members. So, you know, we're in a really good position all round, help, you know, paying our members' pension funds, meeting our responsible investment commitments, and you know, help, you know, assisting the council in its funding, and the council taxpayers of Swansea overall. So well done to everyone. I think it's a really good news story, and I say well done to officers, particularly for the advice and guidance, and members for questioning and making the right decisions overall. So thanks for that. I had Mike first.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Jeff, for that presentation. Very pleased with it. Just a point, can I point out that this increase in assets is on a par with the total yearly budget of the City and County of Swansea, which is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal increase. So well done. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Well, it's a point not lost, Mike. On many occasions, you know, we're the custodians of a budget that dwarfs the overall council in many respects. Certainly, it's a revenue budget. So you know, don't underestimate the role of being a pension fund committee member. It comes with a huge responsibility as well. So a point well made. Phil?
Yeah, just a bit about what Mike said. Let's just hope the council don't come to us for a loan. Because we know what happened the last time we put over a bit of money for them to hold for us for 24 hours. Yeah, it's a fantastic year. I remember times when we were 70% funded, and I think they were calling something called a black hole. Yeah, it's nice to see it. How much of this do you think is down to the pooling system, Jeff? And just one more thing. I didn't know when to say this, so I'll say it now. On one of the training sessions I was on during August break, a lot of the examples they were showing were from the Welsh pooling system, which was very good to see when you got everybody throughout England and Wales there, and they were using us, I won't say exemplary, but very good examples there.
Phil, there's no doubt that the Wales pooling project has been a success. However, the constituent funds use WPP to a greater or lesser extent. For example, we use WPP and the funds we invest in, and I don't think anyone uses them in the way that we do. Absolutely, and in that respect, for example, Phil, if all things are equal, our returns would be similar to the other Welsh funds. But I'm pleased to say that amongst the Welsh funds in particular, we were the second best performing fund out of the Welsh funds. So the only other fund outperforming us in Wales was RCT. So to wholly attribute it that investment outperformance to WPP, it's not incorrect, because they have played a major role in it, because as Nick will allude to earlier on, the equities were the main driver of that outperformance during the year. But our other investments held outside of WPP, our private market investments, have been very successful as well during the year. Hence why we outstripped the majority of our WPP peers as well in that respect. Does that answer your question, Councillor Downing?
Is he frozen?
Yeah, I think he's frozen. He's gone to sleep.
Here we are. All right. Any other questions?
Sorry, Chairman. If I could also say, these financial statements annual report is presented to committee to approve, subject to audit. As I say, Audit Wales will come back later in the year and report their findings following audit in respect of these financial statements.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Okay, if there's no other further points, we see the recommendation then on page 49 that the City and County of Swansea Pension Fund Draft Annual Report and Statement of Accounts 2021 is approved subject to audit. Could I have an indication of all those in favour? Gareth, I can't see anything from you. I don't know where Phil has gone. I think he's rebooting. Gareth, can you hear me? No. All right, Jeremy, I don't know what. I think Gareth is having problems there as well. It seems to be on a go slow.
Clive?
Yeah.
Clive?
Yeah.
I can see you, and I have voted yes.
You have you? Oh, there we are. Great. Okay. All right.
Noted.
Have you
Thank
got
you,
that,
Chair.
Jeremy? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just Phil. Okay, thanks for that. And we move on to item D under section 6, which is audit inquiries to those charged with governance, starting on page 297.
Thanks, Chairman. This is connected to the previous item on the agenda. As part of the audit process of the financial statements, Audit Wales are required to make some inquiries to senior management and those charged with governance. And in the pension fund's case, that is to the pension fund committee, because it is yourselves who have been delegated that responsibility by full council. And they're required to make some very high-level inquiries as to the control processes and procedures and frameworks are in place prior to them starting the audit, so they've got some degree of audit comfort before they start their work, and so they ask a set of queries and questions about management arrangements, control arrangements, governance arrangements, etc., in respect of the management of the scheme. And management and yourselves are expected to provide a response in respect of those. As you can see from the table appended to the letter attached, the responses both of management and those charged with governance are largely the same because the processes are in place. So what this report is seeking is for your approval to respond in kind to Audit Wales in respect of the responses provided, in that we do have robust and appropriate procedures and frameworks in place in respect of financial control, governance, whistleblowing, reporting, anti-fraud and corruption, etc. And the responses, as I say, appended to the letter for your approval.
Okay, anything for Jeff on this one? Pretty straightforward.
No, can I just say before that, I don't know if anybody else, but I think I dropped out for a bit.
You did. You did. Welcome back. Never mind. We'll let you off this time. Okay, so we've got the recommendation there on page 297 that the attached responses to audit inquiries are approved. Can I see all those in favour? Okay, I think that's everyone. Struggling with Gareth again. I can't see. But
I voted to accept.
Yeah. Your picture is freezing, Gareth. So we're not seeing your hand going up. So if you can, there we are. It's up now. Okay, thanks.
Clive.
Okay, got it now.
I voted to accept.
There we are. Great. Got some delay. Okay, so that concludes item 6. If we move to item 7 then, which is the exclusion of the public on page 317. If somebody could move exclusion of the public. Jan, seconded by Peter. All those in favour of excluding the public? Okay. Can we make sure, Jeremy or Alison, if the recording is off?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Chair. I'll stop recording now. Thank you.
Thank you.